So I'm Heather, and this is Danielle with Pearly Shell Fiber Arts.
And we're here visiting the shop, the first shop of the Slow Crawl interview, we hope, extravaganza.
Yay!
I'm going to try
That
and hit
sounds
all
like
of them
fun.
this year.
This is exciting.
I'm planning on hitting all of them this year, but you're first.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So all my mistakes will happen on this video.
Right?
Awesome.
Well, we've been with the Slow Crawl
We're
since
all
the
down
beginning.
with that.
You have
Yeah,
been
we have.
with the Slow Crawl since the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
even like
Yep.
helpful planning and all that. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Ground stuff. So what I'm going to do is ask you 8 questions about the shop, then we'll do a little tour of the shop.
Awesome.
And then
Awesome.
we'll also try to get some shots in the
Outside.
pretty things like
Yeah.
outside,
Mhm.
where you're at, how to get here, stuff
Very
like that.
cool.
Very
So
awesome.
what prompted you to open your store?
Well, we planned it for about 10 years before I opened it up. And at that time, we were living in the Midwest, and I had gone to all these yarn shops, and I was like, but we could do this, but with a fiber twist, because I was a spinner originally, and I was not a knitter. And I would go into a yarn shop, and they really weren't sure what I was talking about. So we wanted to encompass everything. And also, I came from a long line of crocheters, which was another kind of market that was missing. And I had been open about about 6 months when Danielle came in.
Yep. I messaged her on Facebook and said, hey, I'm going to come see the shop today. I'm so excited that we have a new local yarn shop.
And I said, you're in Bend, not local.
And
Were you in Bend?
No, I had moved here.
Okay.
But I have
Say,
this,
dude.
but I have this whole thing where I don't change my location on Facebook.
Right.
Oh.
I just stay in one place forever.
Right. And it was like a cosmic collision of
Yeah.
creativity, and the world's never been the same. And
No.
we just ran with it. We started with in this building, but in a tiny amount of product and stuff. And now we have our own indie dyed yarn line. We have our own roving line. We do farm to shop. We do everything from here. So it's really fun and really creative, because this is the only hobby where ADHD people can continue to grow, because there's always something to learn.
There's always something new.
Absolutely.
Something new.
Yeah.
We can just go down
Always.
a rabbit hole, and then when we get bored, there's another one right next to it.
That's
That
true.
isn't even like, come on, you can spend years studying sheep breeds.
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes. And where there's one hole, there's another rabbit hole just next to it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so how has the pandemic impacted your business, and what have you done as a result?
Well, our goal was to move to on 2020. Our goal was to drastically improve our online sales presence. And
Yes.
the pandemic let us do that.
We
That's
had
a little-
we had like a little business to business conference with a shoemaker who
Yep.
showed up here
Like
who-
4 days before the
4 days before the
happened.
pandemic. He was actually supposed to go to a shoe conference in San Francisco, and Portland was a layover city, and it canceled while he was traveling to San Francisco. So he decided to just
Coming to the beach.
come to the beach and see things. And we had this great conversation about growing businesses and how, how that moving to all online is such a huge step.
Mhm.
And as we were doing it, and he's like, well, my conference is canceled because of
Disease.
a new virus from China.
Yep.
And it was really
Yeah.
kind of cosmic there, too.
Right. And we went, wow, that's really interesting. Well, we need to be online. And within 2 weeks, we were basically shut down. And we shut down a
Online.
little early. And because being at the beach, we have no medical resources here, especially then.
no.
So we made the decision to shut down and figure it out. And we went online. And really, what it did is it pushed us out of our own little bubble. And we started doing online festivals and tremendous online sales, and that really expanded our horizons a huge amount of ways. We met new people. We have had to come out of our shell if we were in in our little shell here, and it really made
We
it
expanded
huge.
all of our hand-dyed.
Yep.
like,
I went home and
huge.
I started dyeing, and completely changed what we carry in the shop. Kept our old trade, standbys, but we really expanded it into a new market, and it's actually been very good. Even though the pandemic is challenging, it's a way for us all to realize how the world was turning, no matter what, and we have been very lucky and stayed very healthy. So, and when we could reopen up, people have been wonderful about coming in
Yeah.
masked and, using their sanitizer and all of that stuff.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very cool. And that's a good segue into what can we get here what can customers get here that they can't get anywhere else?
A lot.
Well, I think
We do
that
have all
is a
behind
good
us.
example.
We have around 500 indie dyed skeins that are dyed by us.
We have farm to store rovings
Mm-hmm.
and soon farm to store yarn.
Yep, we are getting
Where-
spun yarn.
Oh, you're spinning. You're not spinning your own.
Not our own. We're having it
Having it spun. Yeah.
We do have hand spun here though. We have about 300 skeins at all
Mm-hmm.
times of hand spun yarn in stock, which is one of a kind. And then we have one of the largest roving rooms in the Northwest, which we will show you guys
Oh,
in a
that's
little
the
while.
roving
It's
room
on-
now?
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's a room full
It's a
of
room
roving
full of roving and color
for
and fun.
felters and spinners. And,
nice.
yeah.
So, and we add every month we do a new indie dyed theme. Like this month, it says it's May the 4th. We're doing May the Fiber Be With You, so it's all Star Wars themed in May. So we do a new theme, and so you constantly have new one-of-a-kind products coming out.
Sweet. Now you guys raise fur rabbits as well,
Angora
right?
rabbits,
Angora
yes.
rabbits,
Mhm.
yeah. So do you still have that looks
Yep.
fluffy.
Yeah.
We
The
do
fluff
have
I
some
see
Angora.
looks a little bunny-like to me, but I
We
don't know
do
if
have
it is.
Angora yarn, mill-spun Angora yarn, hand-spun yarn, and then we also have Angora roving and yarn, or roving and
And
fiber.
blends or
Mhm.
Blends
Yeah,
and
100%
straight.
or both.
Yeah.
Yep. mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that's the next question. What's your favorite fiber?
That's a really hard question.
That is a
We're-
really hard
I
question.
mentioned that we're like ADHD and we do it all. My favorite, I do love Angora. I also really, really, really love wool. Like border luster and long wools and really supple, fun wools. Corriedale, all of those things. I can go on and on and on. I'm not a straight merino spinner
No.
or knitter. So my favorite to dye though is BFL silk. I love dyeing the BFL silk.
It's a delightful spin
Mhm.
too.
It is.
Well, don't you feel? I kind of feel like merino is the McDonald's of fleeces because it's more regular and it's
There's
predictably soft, so that the big mills
Well,
use
but
it.
it's-
But then
there's such a variety of merino.
Mhm.
We've been learning about merino from some merino breeders.
yeah.
And there's all these different bloodlines of merino, and every bloodline of
Spins
merino
differently.
spins differently, almost as if it's its own separate
Mhm.
breed.
Because merinos were one of the first really dedicated breeds. They've been around since the 1500s. So they for spinning and for fine.
Mm.
So they were really, and then they broke off into the other breeds from there. The Rambouillet and all of the others were.
Oh, so
Mm.
they're all sort of descendants.
There's
They
a
were the
lot.
first call it a breakthrough breed, kind of a fine wool
Mm.
Before that, everything had been a long wool, like a Romney.
or a double coat.
Yep. Or like Shetlands and Icelandics.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, and there are, when you buy commercial merino, when you're talking commercial merino, you have a whole different fiber. It's not necessarily merino. It's anything that's under 21 microns. They do a
Oh.
micron grading. So it depends directly on where your commercial mill is resourcing their fiber, which is why there's such a difference. And some companies will say, this is a merino, and it has a crispier handle, or it doesn't feel as nice.
Or
Or another
it's
yarn
more,
company feels beautiful.
or it's more like Rambouillet, and its crimp structure is completely different, and it's really, really bouncy and short. That's from a different type of merino type wool. Whereas U.S. merino tends to be a longer staple, a lot smoother, because we don't have those ultra tight crimpy.
So there
Right.
are merino. Are there merino breeders in the Northwest?
Yes,
Yes.
there are.
Oh, there are.
There are. There's a couple really good ones that we follow. Apple Creek Merino down in Oregon. We've been doing another one that I can't remember the name of. Montana, Western Montana, has beautiful fiber. There's a lot of little local farms, and we always suggest that. And that's where our rovings come from. Are the local farms,
Our natural
our
colors.
natural colors.
Yep. Our
So
Cool. All right. What is the thing that always flies off your shelf?
our indie dyed.
The
Our
indie
indie dyed
dyes.
is because they're all one of a kind colorways. And I do like 6 to 10 in a colorway. People fight over them, and it's really fun. And I don't keep recipes, so I don't redo the same ones
Ever again.
necessarily.
Ever. No.
Mhm.
No. What you see on the wall is, that's
There is.
it.
That's this week or
That's
today.
That's this collection. That's what you get to see here, and you better buy enough for your project,
Right.
or learn how to make a fade, because that's it.
Because a lot of dyers, what I saw, I was in yarn for a long time before I started dyeing, and I realized that why all the dyers get out is because their creativity gets sucked out of them, because they're doing the same 6 colorways over and over and over and over and over, and it's great, and those sell over and over and over too. But who wants to do that? You become a machine. So we focus on the indie dyed aspect.
Cool. What's your favorite book?
Knitting book or just book in general?
Oh, you can just, you can go. I was thinking knitting book, but go there. Let's go there.
My favorite book ever is Where the Red Fern Grows. There you go. What were we talking about the other night too? I'm a big reader. Anna Green Gables books too are like my favorite.
Yes.
Secret Garden.
Secret Garden's great.
Secret Garden. I've always wanted my own personal secret garden, like where the ivy is growing and you moved away and there's the little hobbit-like door.
When my favorite knitting book is actually a book that was written as a comedy book, and I think it was called something like Drunk, Divorced, and Covered in Cat Hair. And it was about, she like went through this whole divorce and she like knitted her way out of the divorce. And I think it completely
Oh, no,
focuses
I'm going to have
on
to go
how,
find that book.
It's really funny. It completely focuses, I think, on how knitting comes for us when we are stressed out, and what calming factor it is, and how it just goes with our lives, and then we can grow with it. So I'm not a big knitting designer book, unfortunately. That's my big weakness. Like I say, I'm a spinner, and Danielle's a crocheter. So
Yeah. Favorite books. Oh my gosh, on the fiber end of the world, I have to say I've always been impressed. The Stitch and Bitch books, both crochet and knit. I have seen so many beginners grow so fast from those books, which is always exciting for me to see somebody grow like right before your eyes. It's really fun. Me personally, I come from sheep first, with sheep, and I really like the Fleece and Fiber Source book. On the sheep end of things, the Angora section is a little.
So you need to write the addendum to that.
Yeah,
Fix
that's
that.
okay. We meet the artist this month, or the
author
author
this
this
year.
year, hopefully. So
Hopefully.
we always have her.
We're just gonna.
Just put a little idea.
Right, when you redo it, you might want to consider checking it.
Consider new current Angora styles of fiber.
All right, what's your favorite spinning, knitting, crochet, and or other fiber art gadget?
My Modulcraft wheel.
Your wheel?
Yeah, by far my Modulcraft Rose is like it. Like that's my ride or die.
I love my wheel. It's also a Modulcraft Rose. Totally digging my new Likey needles. I got the blush set. They're pink.
Oh, they're pink?
They're
They've come out
very
with
pink.
have they?
Yeah, they're really cute.
And they're only in the sets. And what's great is I don't knit in pink yarns, so they show up on everything.
Yeah, that is a huge deal, isn't it?
It is.
Like the different brown sizes
Yes,
of knitters pride. You get
right,
those and you're like, this isn't gonna work.
No, I can see my yarn at all times.
Yeah, and out here on the coast, you probably do have to like think about light
Yeah.
and color when you've got something on needles.
Yeah. So, loving those. I don't know. I love it all. Depends
We're
on
always
the
finding
day.
new fun things.
I mean,
we
it
were
really
discussing-
depends on the day. It really
we were
does.
discussing this last night. I said, whatever is closest to me, next to the couch.
Right.
Right.
Straight needle, sure. I'll use that for a cable hook.
Right.
Right.
Pearly shell knit pattern.
Yes, this is by Kelly Slack, and it is in our indie dyed alpaca merino nylon blend, which is a really fun blend for socks and stuff. And I will be dyeing up a colorway just for the yarn crawl, but it will be limited colors, and it may not be this colors. We'll have to see what I get.
Inspires you.
Because they're all one of a
Yes,
kind
right?
colors.
But it's super fun with some cabling, really cute.
It is super cute.
fun little cabling.
Yes, and the crochet pattern, which isn't
Which
here.
we will
It took a
put.
detour.
We will put it in. It's
Yes.
It's in the mail.
It is made out of the DK, and it's not just a pattern. It is a whole set. It is a hat, a cowl, and mitts with the same design on all of them so that you can go.
Into the shop, if you do come into the shop, or if you need it printed, let us know. We will print your patterns for you.
Yes, especially for our friends who can't do Ravelry. We are more than happy to accommodate you.
And then you have also download codes.
We have the little download codes. We give you a postcard with that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you did like the card
Yeah.
printing thing.
Yep,
Mhm.
we
Nice.
put it on a postcard and
Then
we
you have
slip
it
it when we stamp your passport or mail your sticker. You get a postcard with all of your download codes.
Put in there.
Yep.
Alrighty. And just as a reminder, we're online and in person this
Yes.
year. So
Yes.
online, you got to buy something just because we can't afford to ship things empty.
Yes.
Right.
And, or if you come in, all you have to do is get here,
Yeah.
and it's free.
You just have to show up.
Which is I'm kind of looking forward to again.
Right?
Having people.
A lot of people are very excited about the slow crawl
Yes.
this year and getting to get out and travel.
Yeah.
Have people go, I'm waiting. I cannot wait for this.
Mhm.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, should we take a tour of the
Sure.
store? I'm gonna
Sure.
Put these.
I got 'em.
You got them?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So when you first come into the shop, we're at the back right now. We have out behind us is our
Should we
patio.
Open the door.
Yeah, let's go
Let's
open
see
the
the-
door. We can come
pretty
in.
out here. Is it locked?
It should be. All right. So it's a little gray, cloudy day at the port, but we are literally at the port of Ilwaco. And on Saturdays, if you come on a Saturday, there's vendors all out here selling stuff, and then we are normally here. No, you cannot go out the door. We are normally
Shop mascot.
the shop mascot Jack. Over here on our patio, spinning and hanging out. A lot of times, if we have any sale yarn or things like that, we have it going out here. And this is one of the oldest working ports in Washington State on the West Coast, and it is still a working port, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you come in here, and then you come into the shop.
This is the back door, though.
This is the back, well, or the front door. It's
Well,
the
I suppose
door.
if you're at the market, right?
Right, if you're outside already, it's the front. It's a door. And you come right in here,
Jack's still up.
and you have down the middle is all of our indie dyed yarn. We have mill spun over here in minis, and then over on this wall, we always have our newest collection, which this month was Willy Wonka. So that is still up there, all those colorways. And it continues all the way down here. We have our Noro section, which we have a huge selection of Noro in several different kinds. And then on the walls, we have acrylic and cottons on one wall and wool on the other. It's kind of designed like that. Keeps it a little easier. Then in the very front, if you come in from the street side, if you're a spinner, you're going to want in and you're going to come and take a right, which is really fun. And we have our fiber room, which is in here, which is all the fibers organized by naturals and indie dyed and all sorts of fun stuff. Thread for spinning, Angora, you name it, we have it all. Plus we always have Modcraft and Kromsky wheels here for you to try out.